Picture this. It's Monday morning. You're in a Zoom meeting that should have been an email. Your camera's on, you're nodding like you care, and in the corner of your screen, you've got a little tab open that says retirement calculator. Because, look, you're doing everything right. You're smart, you're responsible, you're optimizing, and yet you feel weirdly stuck. Meanwhile, there's someone you went to high school with, let's call him Dave, who was never the smart one. Dave was the guy who barely passed algebra, bought a used truck with a questionable engine, and somehow, Dave is posting pictures on a Tuesday at 11 a.m. from a hiking trail like he doesn't have a job. And you like, how is this possible? Here's the thing. The people who retire early are not always the smartest people in the room. In fact, a lot of the time, smart people retire later. And I know that sounds insulting. It's not. It's a warning. Because the same traits that make you smart, planning, analyzing, optimizing, being cautious, can quietly trap you in a financial life that looks impressive but never becomes free. Look, let me challenge a common assumption right away. Most people think early retirement is about making more money. It's not. It's about needing less money and being willing to look unimpressive while you build freedom. Here's what most people don't realize. Retirement isn't an age. It's a math problem. If your monthly spending is $5,000, you're not retiring at 65. You're buying $5,000 per month freedom. That's it. And the reason dumb people sometimes retire earlier is because they accidentally do the one thing smart people refuse to do. They stop playing the status game. Smart people, oh, we're elite status players. We just call it being responsible. I spend way too much time thinking about why people who are objectively intelligent still feel broke, stressed, and stuck. If you're someone who makes decent money, you're not reckless, you're trying to do the right things, but you still feel like you're running on a treadmill that speeds up every year, this video is for you. Because today I'm going to show you why smart people often delay wealth. How dumb people accidentally win the retirement game, the exact math with real dollar amounts, and the psychological shift that makes the whole thing click. And yes, I'm going to give you a simple set of steps you can actually use without needing a finance degree or a 4-7 tab spreadsheet. Let's start with a stat that should make you uncomfortable. According to the Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances, the median retirement account balance for U.S. households is shockingly low, often reported in the tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands. And when you break it down by age, a lot of people approaching retirement still don't have anywhere near what they think they need. And here's the more brutal part. The Bureau of Labor Statistics has consistently shown that many households spend most of what they earn. Not because they're dumb, because the system is designed to normalize spending. So if you're sitting there thinking, wait, I make good money, why doesn't it feel like I'm getting ahead? You're not crazy. You're just playing the default game. And the default game is earn more, spend more, upgrade everything, and call it progress. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Nick, but I'm smart. I'm not out here buying jet skis. Yeah, you're not buying jet skis. You're buying the smart person version of jet skis. You're buying the nicer apartment because it's safer. You're buying the newer car because it's reliable. You're buying the premium groceries because it's health. You're buying the better neighborhood because it's for the future. And individually, each decision sounds rational. But collectively, it's a financial prison with really nice lighting. Here's what most people don't realize. Smart people are incredible at justifying lifestyle inflation. Not because they're irresponsible, because they can explain it. Let's do the math, because the math is where it gets really interesting. Person A is smart. They earn $120,000 a year. After taxes, let's say they take home around $7,000 a month, depending on state benefits and deductions. They spend $6,500 a month because, look, life is expensive. That leaves $500 a month to invest. Person B is dumb. They earn $70,000 a year. They take home maybe $4,500 a month. but they spend $3,000 a month because they never upgraded their life to match their income. They invest $1,500 a month. Now tell me who's retiring first. Because retirement isn't about income, it's about the gap. The gap is everything. Let's run a simple scenario. Assume both people invest in a broad stock index fund and average a 7% annual return over time. Not guaranteed, but historically reasonable over long periods. That's roughly in line with long-term market averages after inflation. Depending on the time frame you look at, S&P 500, historical data is widely available from sources like S&P Dow Jones indices. Person A invests $500 a month. Person B invests $1,500 a month. After 20 years, $500 a month at 7% becomes roughly $260,000. $1,500 a month at 7% becomes roughly $780,000. Same market, same time, same strategy. The difference is behavior, and behavior is psychology. Now, here's where the dumb versus smart thing gets spicy. Smart people tend to optimize for comfort and certainty. They want the right decision. They want the best decision. They want to avoid regret. So they over-research, over-plan, and they delay action. They'll spend 6 months deciding which credit card gets the best points while ignoring the fact that their rent is eating their entire future. They'll debate whether to invest in a Roth or a traditional account while their car payment is the size of a mortgage. Look, I'm not saying details don't matter. I'm saying the big levers matter more. And dumb people sometimes by accident pull the big levers. They keep their fixed costs low. They don't care as much about looking successful. They're willing to be a little uncomfortable. And that discomfort is what buys freedom. Let me give you an analogy. Smart people treat money like a trophy. Dumb people treat money like a tool. A trophy sits on a shelf and signals status. A tool gets used to build something. If your financial decisions are designed to impress people who aren't paying your bills, you're collecting trophies. If your financial decisions are designed to buy your time back, you're using tools. And time is the only thing you can't earn more of. Now you might be thinking, okay, but I worked hard to get here. I don't want to live like a college student forever. Good. You shouldn't. This isn't about deprivation. It's about sequencing. Here's what most people don't realize. You don't need to live cheap forever. You need to live intentionally long enough to break the dependency on your paycheck. That's the whole game. Because once your investments can cover your baseline life, you can upgrade from a position of power, not from a position of, I need this job. Let's talk about the psychological shift that separates early retirees from everyone else. Most people think the goal is more. More income, more house, more options, more stuff. But early retirees think the goal is enough, and enough is a number. If your monthly spending is $3,000, that's $36,000 a year. A common rule of thumb in the financial independence world is the 4% rule, popularized by research, like the Trinity study, suggesting that a diversified portfolio could potentially support withdrawals around 4% annually over long periods. So if you need $36,000 a year, you might aim for about $900,000 invested. If you need $60,000 a year, you might aim for about $1.5 million. Notice what just happened? Your lifestyle determines your finish line, not your intelligence, not your degree, not your job title, your lifestyle. This is where it gets really interesting. Smart people often move the finish line faster than they're running. They get a raise and immediately upgrade. They pay off a car and immediately buy a nicer one. They move up in their career and move into a more expensive zip code. So they never feel progress, because progress is being consumed in real time. It's like trying to fill a bathtub with the drain open, and the drain is your fixed monthly expenses. Let me tell you something that sounds harsh, but will save you years. You don't have an income problem. You have a fixed cost problem. Your rent or mortgage, your car payment, your subscriptions, Your insurance, your lifestyle commitments, those are the chains. And smart people are really good at buying chains that look like rewards. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Nick, so what do I actually do? Just cut everything? No, you do three things simple, but not easy. First, calculate your freedom number. Take your monthly spending, your real spending, not the version you tell yourself, and multiply it by 12 to get annual spending. Then multiply by 25 as a rough target using the 4% rule framework. If you spend $4,000 a month, that's $48,000 a year. Times 25 equals $1.2 million. That's your target. Not because it's perfect, but because it gives you clarity. Second, attack fixed costs, not joy. Don't nickel and dime coffee while ignoring a $900 car payment. If you reduce your monthly spending by $500, that's $6,000 a year. Using the same 4% framework, that's like lowering your freedom number by $150,000. Read that again. Cutting $500 month is like earning $150,000 in retirement assets. That's why fixed costs are the cheat code. Third, automate investing like it's a bill. Because willpower is fake. If you invest what's left, you'll invest nothing. If you invest first, your lifestyle adapts. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable at first. That discomfort is the sound of your future being purchased. Let's do one more example, because I want this to land. If you're 30 years old and you invest $1,000 a month at 7% for 25 years, you end up around $810,000. If you invest $2,000 a month, you end up around $1.62 million. Doubling the contribution doesn't just double the outcome, it changes your entire life. And the smart trap is thinking you need some genius strategy to get there. You don't, you need a bigger gap. Here's what most people don't realize. The biggest financial flex is not what you buy. It's what you can walk away from. A toxic boss, a job you hate, a city that drains you, a schedule that's killing you. And the people who get there first are often the ones who were willing to look a little behind for a few years. They drove the paid off car. They lived in the smaller place. They said no to the upgrade. Not because they were dumb, because they were free. So if you're the smart person watching this, I want you to hear me. Your intelligence is not the problem. Your intelligence is just being used to defend a lifestyle that keeps you dependent. And once you see that, you can flip it. You can use your intelligence to design a life that costs less than you earn by a meaningful margin. You can use your intelligence to build systems that run without motivation. You can use your intelligence to stop trying to win the status game and start winning the time game. Here's your action step for today, like today, not someday. Go look at your last 30 days of spending. Pick one fixed cost to reduce in the next 30 days. And set an automatic investment that happens the day after you get paid. Even if it's $100, even if it's $250, because the habit is the seed. And once the seed is planted, you can scale it. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. Look, I'm slightly frustrated because I see smart people do this all the time. They wait for the perfect plan, the perfect income, the perfect moment. And the dumb people, they keep their life simple. They build the gap. They buy their time back. And then one day, they're hiking on a Tuesday at 11 a.m., not because they got lucky, because they stopped paying for a lifestyle that was still in their future. If you want to retire earlier, stop asking, how do I make more? Start asking, how do I need less without feeling like I'm missing my life? That's the shift. That's the whole game. And if you take action on this, like actually take action, you're going to look up in a year and realize you're not stuck anymore. You're moving, and you're moving fast.